So guys, it is time for my match day 14 score predictions for the championship. Always my favourite time in the video. If you guys want to be involved in this video, all you've got to do is comment your score predictions in the comments down below so you can be featured in my Lexalexus Football Prediction League. These are the current standings of the Lexalexus Football Prediction League. So at the moment, we're getting a really consistent top 5, and in fact, not much change in this league. There was not many points delivered. It was such a crazy and unpredictable midweek. But well done AJ Wolf and Mass CPSC for rising above their positions. And this is what the League 1 team looks like. And look at this, we've got our two new entries, Cameron F and also Side Hussein. Welcome to the League 1 Lexalexus Football Prediction League. If you guys like what you see, please give the video a like. It does tremendously help the channel. Let's aim for 20 likes. I think that'd be fantastically appreciative. Please also hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. It does really help. We're really on the cusp for trying to push to 900 and 1,000 subscribers. So if you can get that as soon as you can, that would be terrifically appreciative. And please share this video and this channel to as many people as you can. That is how we're going to grow as a family together. But without any further ado, let's start predicting these weekend's games. So we start off with Cardiff going up against Middlesbrough. Both teams having very contrasting results in midweek. Cardiff, of course, did lose 2-0 to Fulham. I mean, Fulham are one of the more tougher teams to play against away from home, and I did expect it, but that is 7 defeats in a row for Cardiff now. I mean, Neil Harris was sacked for not as form as bad as that. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Cardiff. Playing against a Middlesbrough side that have been a little bit inconsistent. They've looked at 1 week looking like they can push for top 6, then they look like they're in the bottom half of the table, and then all of a sudden now they're 10th place, and now with a couple of wins strung together, maybe they can even get up there now. Now, of course, it's Neil Warnock going up against the club he formerly managed and got them promoted out of the championship. For Middlesbrough, stats for them, you know, they kept 3 clean sheets in their last 4 matches actually, but they have lost their last 2 away games. The score prediction is tricky because Middlesbrough losing their last 2 away games, they're against teams you'd expect Middlesbrough to beat, Hull and Reading. So as a prediction, I'm going to still say Middlesbrough will win this, but I'm going to say a 2-1 away victory to Middlesbrough. And FIFA 22 is going for a 0-0 draw. Next up, we've got Birmingham going up against Swansea. So, these two teams going forward in this game. Birmingham managed to sustain a draw in midweek, so it has reduced the rot that they've had recently, but they were very fortunate to keep that draw. Huddersfield were bombarding them with chances, and they've hit the woodwork a good couple of times as well. Swansea picked up an incredible result in midweek, completing a comeback against West Brom, subduing them to their 2nd defeat of the season. Jamie Patterson in unbelievable goal scoring form right now. Now, Birmingham have not scored in their last 6 matches. That is 9 hours worth. We're talking about Hull City levels of a goal drought here. So Birmingham are having a real concern for me with the lack of goals that they're scoring. I actually remember the last meeting between these sides as well. It was when Birmingham picked up a 1-0 win where Birmingham were keen to get points right now. Swansea was still pushing for promotion, and it was Scott Hogan with the 91st minute penalty. And I think it would be a generically quiet game until one of these teams eventually breaks through and gets the opening goal. But which one will get the opening goal? For me, I think I've got a bit more confidence in Swansea at the moment. I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win for Swansea. FIFA 22, once again, is going for a 0-0 draw. Next up, we've got Blackburn going up against Reading. Interesting to talk about these two teams. So Blackburn, at the moment, I'm not encouraged by their form. They've not won in their last 4 matches and have lost 3 of those 4 games as well. With Reading, they actually picked up some really good form, but they have lost in midweek against Blackpool when they were 2-0 up. So the fact they conceded 3 goals consecutively, that is a bit of a concerning sign for me. Jerry Yates, fair play to him. He really ripped Reading a new one. And I think when Reading go up against Blackburn, they need to use this game and try and bounce back to the best that they can. But Reading with their form, actually, they've managed to win 2 out of their last 3 away games. So Reading have got the capability of getting a good result against Blackburn, especially with Blackburn's form not being too great at the moment. I think Ben Brereton Diaz as a player is still someone still building up his fitness again after being so involved with the Chile international squad in the international break. I can't separate the two sides, I can't lie. I'm going to say an entertaining 2-2 draw actually. I think we're going to see some goals in this game. And FIFA 22 is saying a 1-0 away win to Reading. Next up, we've got Blackpool going up against Preston. I am so excited for this derby to return. The West Lancashire derby. For the first time, it has been a competitive game since 2010. And the last meeting between these two sides, I remember it vividly. It was 2013 in the Capital One Cup, as it was then called. Preston were in League One, Blackpool were in the Championship, and Preston got a last-minute winner from Tom Clark. Simon Grayson lifted Preston to beat Paul Lintz's Blackpool, and there was a pitch invasion, and it was absolutely crazy. So we could see some absolute drama going into this game this weekend. It could be absolutely fierce, and both these teams will be really wanting a point to prove. I mean, Blackpool have definitely probably proved it a lot better for what Preston have had at the moment, having a 3-point gap against them. But Preston can overtake Blackpool if they get a win in this game, and it'll be a typical derby performance that Preston can be encouraged to try and overtake their rivals. So I am hoping it's going to be a really good match. I'm interested to see how Jerry Yates or Shane Lavery compared to the likes of Reece Jacobson, who's doing well at the moment. So it's an interesting comparison. I'm going to say for the fact that Preston have actually been undefeated in 9 games out of 10 in this stage of the season. I don't think Preston will lose this. But I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I think both these sides will cancel each other out, and I'm going to sit on the fence for this one. And FIFA 22, once again, very, very sadly, has gone for a 0-0 draw. Next up is Bournemouth going up against Huddersfield. I mean, can anything stop Bournemouth at the moment? Still the only unbeaten team of this season, and they have breached a 5-point gap from second place Fulham. But according to the average positions played, Bournemouth have actually had the easiest start of the season, which I think is very, very interesting considering they are right up there in the table. They play a Huddersfield side, which I think can offer them a challenge. They've shown that they can score goals. Huddersfield have actually done well since their back-to-back defeats, picking up 8 points in their last 4 games. But Bournemouth, though, have got a very strong record against Huddersfield, beating them in 4 meetings out of 4. And they've kept 4 clean sheets in 6 too. So for those stats alone, I'm a bit more confident that Bournemouth will pick up a result there. I'm going to say a 2-0 victory to Bournemouth, and FIFA 22 is going for, once again, a 0-0 draw. A bit repetitive now. Next up, we've got Coventry going up against Derby. So Coventry got a unique record at home, the only team with a 100% home record so far, with 7 home wins out of 7. They play a Derby side where away from home they're very, very struggling. They failed to score in their last 4 away games. But both teams were very contrasting results. So Coventry lost in midweek after taking the lead against Preston. It was a bit disappointing how they actually conceded too many chances in that second half especially. They were well in control and then threw it away. And in terms for Derby against Luton, Derby took the lead twice, which would have been a crucial 3 points in terms of their battle to try and stay up in the Championship. But they conceded 2 very, very scrappy goals. The goalkeeper especially would be very, very angry with himself how he conceded the equaliser. So definitely Derby will be really determined and really desperate to get these points. Coventry will want to bounce back from their defeat. And I've seen Coventry have an away defeat before and have bounced back in a big way when they beat Fulham by 4-1 at home. I don't think we'll see a similar result here because I think Derby defensively are very good. But I don't think we'll see many goals. I'm going to go for a 2-0 Coventry win, and FIFA 22 is going for a 1-0 Coventry win. Next up, we've got Luton going up against Hull. I remember these two playing against each other last time in the Championship. I remember Kazenga Lualua's last minute goal for Luton, which kind of saved them and condemned Hull to relegation. I'm pretty sure Hull are going to really want some revenge and to use this time to establish themselves, where for me they've not really done that so far. Luton, they are unbeaten in 4 home games, but have picked up 3 draws, including 2 0-0 draws. But Luton did well to get a comeback against Derby and to not lose that game. So Hull have lost 3 away games in a row, and Hull have not scored in their last 5 away games. 4 of those away games have ended up in a 2-0 defeat. It's the most common scoreline. That seems to be Hull City's curse at the moment. And for a team like Luton, who do like to score goals, as we saw in midweek against Derby, I think Luton may actually have a bit of fun in this game. So I'm going to say that Luton will win by 2-0, and FIFA 22 is saying 0-0 once again. Next up, we've got Millwall going up against Stoke City. Very contrasting results in midweek. So Millwall picked up a very good away win against Sheffield United. They took the lead after a cross shot from Jed Wallace. Sheffield United inevitably equalised from a penalty in the end, and then a really good strike by Jay Cooper managed to end the differences and got Millwall, I think, a very crucial win. Now for Stoke, they lost against Bournemouth, and for me, they didn't really threaten, but I think a big blow for them and for the future matches is Nick Powell. He picked up an injury and he'll be out for 6 to 8 weeks. To tell you how important he is, he's had 6 goal contributions to Stacey's season at the moment. So 6 out of the 16 goals have come in an assistance of Nick Powell. He's very, very important in that team. Millwall, for the reason I'm impressed with them is that after drawing 6 games out of their opening 9 games, they've actually not drawn a game in their last 4 games, and 3 of those 4 games involving a win. And that's exactly what I wanted from Millwall. So with this game, it's so tough because Stoke away from home are not great. They've only picked up 5 away points so far this season, Stoke. I really could see a Millwall win, but I'm actually going to sit on the fence and say a 1-1 draw, and FIFA 22 is going to say 0-0. Next up, we've got Peterborough going up against QPR. Both teams with a win in midweek. Peterborough picked up a very crucial first 3 away points of the season, beating their relegation rivals Hull City by 2-1. Really should have been 3-1 if they weren't caught offside when they actually ran the other half of the pitch to score the last minute goal. But Jack Taylor scored an absolute thunderstrike. I mean, what a goal by Jack Taylor in that game. QPR had a bit more of a tight encounter against Blackburn, but they did pick up a 1-0 win. Elias Chair picking up the very crucial goal. Just how important has Elias Chair been this season so far for QPR especially? Now, Peterborough have been a bit up and down with their home form. They picked up 2 wins in their opening 7 home games. But in terms of the home games they have lost, they've actually not lost a home game by more than 1 goal. So it's always been a very tight contest at home. And I think we'll see the same thing here against this Queen's Park Rangers side, who have lost 3 away games in a row. But those games were against West Brom, Bournemouth and Fulham, right up there in the top 6. So I can't really blame QPR too much for that. As a score prediction, I'm going to edge, I think, QPR. I've got a bit more confidence in them. They might just edge it, but I wouldn't back Peterborough getting the result. I'm going to say a 2-1 away victory to QPR. And FIFA 22 has gone for a 3-2 away win to QPR. I won't lie, maybe FIFA 22 is onto something here. Last of Saturday's games to predict is West Brom going up against Bristol City. Now, both these sides have fallen to a 2-1 defeat, and both taking the lead in their game in midweek as well. So both guilty from throwing the lead away. West Brom, of course, lost against Swansea after taking the lead very well from Carlin Grant in the opening 20 seconds of the match. They go and lose it in the end by 2-1. For me, they really should have wrapped the game up, to be honest. They did have a chance, and I think one chance cannoned off the crossbar too. But there's no excuses to concede 2 goals like that and not to try and kill the game up and manage the game right. Now, with Bristol City, they're even more unforgivable for me because they took a really nice goal to take the lead, but then still in the 90th minute they are winning. They concede a penalty, so we're thinking, oh gosh, here we go again. You know, we thought of the last minute equalisers from Luton, the last minute equaliser against Forest Green as well. There's just so many scenarios where Bristol City have conceded a last minute goal, and this time was a penalty from Lyle Taylor. But it gets worse. Literally about a minute later, Noel Taylor scores again to make it 2-1 to Forest. Bristol City just cannot win at home. They need to fix something there. But luckily, away from home, they've actually got the 3rd best away form in the league. but they're playing against the West Brom side who've not lost at home so far this season. So, this is so tough to predict. I want to say a draw, but I might slightly go for the edge of West Brom here. I'm going to go 2-1 to West Brom. FIFA 22, unsurprisingly, has said a 0-0 draw again. So now we go to Sunday's games. We've now got Barnsley going up against Sheffield United. Now the home side have sustained 5 defeats in a row, but how they did not score at least one goal against Middlesbrough, I have no idea. They've missed so many gilt-edged chances in that game. And actually they've done that in their last couple of matches too. How they've not been able to score any goals is probably beyond the fact that they are really, really low on confidence at the moment. Now they play against a Sheffield United side who of course lost in midweek 2, and they've got a huge, and I can't repeat enough, a huge injury list. Sander Berge, George Baldock, Luke Freeman, Reece Lawrence-Davies, Conor Hurahan, Oliver Burke, Jack O'Connell are all injured, and that doesn't even include Morgan Gibbs-White, but because of that red card he picked up against Millwall, he cannot play in this game. But Barnsley themselves have got a big injury list. Matt Sanderson is still out, Carlton Morris is still out, Benson, Kitchen are all out, Sibic and Halm are a bit touch and go whether they can play. So both these sides are going to have rather depleted squads going into this game. So the winner of this game for me is going to be the one with the most depth and which one actually has a real go at this. Now, no one has scored fewer goals than Barnsley this season. Only 7 goals Barnsley have scored this season in 13 matches. That's nearly half a goal scored a match, which is really poor form. This is the biggest underachievers going up against each other. So I guess the winner is the one that underachieves the less. And for me, I might just edge Sheffield United. I'm going to say, 2-0 away win to Sheffield United. And FIFA 22, unsurprisingly, another 0-0 draw. So guys, the last game to predict this weekend is Nottingham Forest going up against Fulham. Now, if I were to predict this match a good couple of weeks ago, then I would have, thought straight away it would be a Fulham win. But Forest have done so well that they've actually made this game really, really close and actually may have even edged themselves as the favourites. That might sound crazy for saying that, but you've got to look at their form. Only picking up 1 point in their opening 7 games. They've now picked up 16 in their last 6. 16 out of their 17 points that they have right now, they've picked up in their last 6 games. That is an unbelievable turnaround in form made by Steve Cooper. Now, Fulham, one thing I am excited about them is that we saw the return of Tom Cairney and we've seen exactly what he can do when he was directly involved in a goal scored by Fulham against Cardiff in midweek. I think he'll be a fantastic and influential championship player as always. I really don't know what to go with. I can even see any of the outcomes going. I can see a Fulham win, Nottingham Forest win. So as a result, I'm undecided. I'm going to sit on the fence and say a 1-1 draw, and FIFA 22 is saying a 1-0 Forest win. I'll be very interested to hear what your thoughts are in the comments down below. So guys, these are my score predictions for this weekend's games in the Championship. If you guys do want to be involved in the prediction league, make sure you comment your predictions in the comments down below. I'll be very interested to see what predictions you guys are making. If you guys were wondering, on the left hand side of the screen right there are my Premier League predictions as well. If you guys want a separate prediction league for Premier League games, the thing we have to do guys is to hit that subscribe button and get this channel to 1,000 subscribers, and I'll make a separate prediction league on the Premier League. I'll be willing to do that. Please also give the video a like, it does tremendously help the channel. Please also share this video and this channel to as many people as you can, all of that really helps. But I'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you saw the end of this video, and as always, I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care.